Good morning, everyone. It is morning in Saranda, and I I kind of had there's always a story. I swear there's always a story. And I think sharing our stories is important because it puts context to the things that we learn, the things that we experience. And this morning I was sitting out here having balcony time, and I've done this new ritual that I really like, and it has taken some courage, and at the same time I love it. As you know, every morning I come out on the balcony and I do my morning ritual, whatever I'm called to do, just in silence. This morning and many every day, pretty much for the last 10 days, I have had a silent little dance party, and I put my little old school earbuds, because the Bluetooth thing like freaks me out. I'm like, I don't want like wavelength things going between my ears from the Bluetooth. Like I feel like these are probably no better, but actually, I think they are better. Anyway, crazy stuff. But I wear normal earbuds. I put them in so I don't disrupt anybody. And I turn the music up and I do my best just to stretch. And then I have a really good playlist that I like. I call it Mindset Alchemy. And I had the playlist a long time ago for a program that I did, and I kept it and I just keep adding to it. So it's got like really good songs, and every song makes you can't just sit still. Like when I'm stretching and stuff, I'm doing like warrior pose, trying to get all stretched, but I'm like, uh. So today, 8 Mile came on, the song from 8 Mile, and that song gets me so pumped up. I love myself some Eminem, and he's talking about you only get one chance, you get one opportunity. And at that point, I stopped my yoga practice and I got up on here, on like right up on this, on the wall here, the glass wall, and I just danced my ass off. And I tell you that because as I danced, I was flooded with new understandings, and I was also flooded with, hey, check in with so and so, check in with so and so. And I answer those pretty quickly, like those calls. So I reached out to two different friends and said, hey, haven't heard from you in a couple days. How are you? Friends here in Storehouse Social, and friends that personal friends. Everyone's a personal friend that's in Storehouse Social. I don't mean it like that, but what I meant is like people who aren't in Storehouse Social, but I wanted to check in on. And they both came back and said, yeah, that it's been intense. And I thought at that point, I stopped and wanted to do this live because it has been intense. And I want to share a little bit about the intensity because we are in a pretty large solar wave and have been. We've also have had a pretty much like a set of tsunami energy coming in from the Lionsgate portal in the beginning of this month. And then we had the full moon that same week, a couple days later. So there was kind of like, how like waves come in sets. I last week I felt it. I felt like these just massive waves of energy coming in, and now it's all and so we're trying to acclimate to that. And then now having solar flares and CMEs flying in. The rest of this week, we are going to be hit by a lot of atmospheric energy, solar energy, plasma light. Light, when it absorbs in, when we allow it to ground down, remember that light brings new packets of energy, new packets of data. And that packet of data is pulled in, by your body, and it then opens up new awareness in your DNA. It then spreads, so to speak, through your body. Energetically, you're getting an upgrade. Physically, you're getting an upgrade. So it could be really uncomfortable at the moment. So if it is, know that the wave is upon us. You'll also remember, maybe, but I will remind you, back in like April or May, we were talking about plot twists, and we were talking about plot twists, meaning those scenarios, those people, those things that come out seemingly but out of nowhere, that just give us a plot twist in our lives. So we were talking about the energy of that, and to set the energy. We spent a good 3 months in the April, May, and June months of the daily tune in, although there was some space in there where there wasn't a daily video, there was all the time of that 90 days was setting up the energy of these plot twists, being in conscious awareness of where we were, where our minds were, where our feelings were. Because remember, our thoughts and our feelings create the electromagnetic field that then pulls in the organization of that intention into reality. This wave, I believe that's coming in is the wave that it will that brings in the organization of that plot twist into our individual lives for us to actually live it in reality. So why do I think that? I believe that because in the past, when these waves have come through, they have brought up all of, for my own experience, I'm talking from this, when they've come through, it's brought up density. And we've talked a lot about that on the daily tune-ins. That density just has to be worked through, whether it's grief or fear of any kind. It's fear of any kind. If it feels dense, it's of a life constricting energy. And our job has been to sit with that. That seems to have that phase for me has seemed to pass. And if you're still in it, it simply means you're at a different, you're a different spot. So your experience is not going to be mine, and it's also not wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. This is just we're all on a different phases of our ascension journey. We're at different phases of work. So I want to just share this perspective because I personally haven't experienced this yet. And I haven't really talked to too many people yet that are experiencing this. So I want to open up this conversation so that you can maybe see things in a different way. So in the past, when these waves would come through, the density of the wave would just feel like it was like suffocating, right? Sitting in the anxiety and without numbing it and saying, what is this? And whether you come to a conclusion of what it is or not, just sitting with it, breathing through it until it passes. That's been the work. What's happening now for me is it feels just intense, but when I tune into the intensity, I'm not getting the density of thoughts that I used to get. So when I felt an intensity, I would usually label it and say, this feels like anxiety. This feels like fear of some sort. What is this about? Oh, it's about this life circumstance or this, or, this is what I'm looking to improve. When I tune into the intensity I'm finding in these last few weeks, what I'm finding is it's so hard to explain. What is the explanation, so to speak, or where my mind goes is not to the old dense things, but to new insights, new ideas that I've never had before. But when I sit with them, I think, oh my God, I'd never thought of that. I love that. If anything, I've resisted it. So, for example, all of a sudden, in one morning, I sat here and got a full, complete download of why I have to. I don't even know how to put it into words because it just sounds so. When you put it in words, it just oversimplifies it. But I literally sat here and got a transmission about working in the government. And I was like, what? But at the same time, I wasn't. It wasn't until after I sat with that and let it come through and let all remembrances come in. What I mean by that, I'm sure you have had the experience of tuning into anxiety and having the thoughts run away with themselves that take you into almost more anxiety, right? This is this is the same, but a different experience in that the original idea came, and then where it was almost as if I was given a vision or a preview of the timeline of being in government, right? So when you have anxiety and you tune into it, you're tuning into that timeline. So what you're tuning into is the storyline of the anxiety, and it'll take you pretty far down that timeline, until you're in that dimension and you're feeling it all over. Our work through these waves is to not let it take you, but to stay present and to let it pass. That's the same thing that I'm working through, and that I'm noticing feels the work feels a lot similar, and at the same time it feels so good because I don't want to stop the timeline, because I want to keep going, because it's filling me up. And as it fills me up, I can feel my heart expanding. I usually get sweaty. It feels a lot like the same symptoms of going down in a fear based timeline. This one is different. I'm being taken down life expanding timelines. And it was almost as if I was being given a choice and saying, out of all of the things that you have been working on, all of the intentions that you have held in your mind this entire year that you've been working towards, this you being Vedette, does this timeline work for you? Is this in alignment with everything that you stand for? And my heart would open. This was the experience, heart opening. All of a sudden, a flood of images, a flood of visions. Really, I see visions. So sometimes you don't see them. I don't want to just give the impression that all of a sudden you're going to get visions. You might get feelings. You might get different sensations. We all feel telepathically. We pull in these messages differently. So I feel them first and then say, oh, okay, you got a message for me. I'm going to open my heart. Remember the portal between the physical and the spiritual. Open the heart, and then that makes us, that at that point we're a conductor for the message, for the download. And when the downloads come from me, typically I get visions. I either write them out. Sometimes I'll get, like literal, like, go and search this. I have so many search tabs open because I'm being taken down a rabbit hole that I have never gone down, that I never thought I would go down. And yet the further I go down this rabbit hole, it's not like the truther rabbit holes where you go down and you end up being like, holy crap, I'm afraid for this world. This has been a rabbit hole I've been taken on for these last few days. Now, down the rabbit hole into, oh my God, I love this. The deeper I go, the deeper the synchronicities come, the ideas come, and crazy stuff like magic is happening. And when I say that, I mean the synchronicities of like something that I'm researching. All of a sudden, a yacht will come in here, and I always get distracted by the yachts. I love watching it. I like going down the rabbit hole of who owns it and how they made their wealth. And I've learned so much from that, just that. And yet the other day I was in here downloading, a yacht came in, and I was like, pause, Team Leo, like, I'm really excited about this whole thing, but I got to pause because I had to ground. Like all of the excitement, the wave of energy that I have been sitting in, that we all have, but I'm just, again, sharing my experience. I've been sitting in has been so intense. So this yacht came in. I was like, okay, let me just like tune into this physical world and see what's going on with this yacht. And this yacht had a huge clue for me to then go down, keep going down the rabbit hole. So I was allowed to pause, but in the research of this vessel, it was a beautiful, like green yacht. And a lot of them are like the vanilla, like, it's so funny because like a $120 million yacht will come in here and it's all like just vanilla. And I'm like, no. So, but then a really beautiful one will come in like this one. And I had to stop. And I had journaled. I had gotten a message back in June because I went and looked in my journal. Back in June, I was writing out, having a stream of consciousness, and I wrote out what came through was, when you see a green boat and the dolphins, you'll know that contact has been made. And I thought, oh, that's weird that we never see dolphins. So I'm like, that'll be a shot in hell. And all of a sudden, getting downloads, this green yacht comes in, which I was like, pause the download. I got to go check this out. And when I went and researched or looked at, pictures of the yacht online, it was a green yacht and it had a statue of dolphins on the inside, on the interior. I about shit my pants, to be quite honest. I was like, what? That's what I mean by synchronicities are happening. Okay. So this is all available. So if you are in a wave of density, sit in it, because as you sit in it and you clear those layers, you will then come into a new expression of these waves, and they will be intense, and at the same time they will be expansive. So expansion is intense, and so is constriction, right? Oh, we could sit like this and it's intense, or we could go like this and receive all that is ours, and it's intense. So we get to choose what we're receiving, but we can't be here receiving all of it until we pass through the densities. So wherever you are, it's perfect. I'm just giving you another perspective so you are informed, and also so that you can feel comfortable, and that there is, I'm not saying that I'm at the end of a density, because I have felt a lot of density too this week, where I've just sat and been like, whoa, this again, So at the same time, we're always going to be working through some density. And at the same time, though, I'm finding that there's more and more of these waves that come that are expansive. So there's a lot of interesting things happening at the moment. I do believe the wave is upon us, the plot twist wave. So I do believe that many people, many of us, are going to see a timeline open up through an opportunity, a chance encounter. It's going to appear as though it's by luck. And yet, because that's how it works, and yet we create our luck. We create our, golden tickets. And I know that if you are here in Storehouse Social, you are committed to peace. And I know that you are someone who has worked on intentionalizing, and man, not I don't even, you have worked on intentionalizing your highest and best good. Your higher self has been asked to come to the forefront, and you are doing the work to allow that to happen. And as that higher self comes to the forefront, comes to the surface, she's just pushing out all of the old parts that are no longer a part of you, because they were just filters. They were fake facades. They were a figment of your imagination of who you had to be. And obviously, if as they leave, they were dense, they were not in your best and highest good. So if there's a relationship or a job or something that is trying to push its way out, allow it to do that, so that your higher self can come to the surface. So I'm going to do these. I'm going to just pull a couple of cards just to kind of wrap this up. But having to do with the wave is upon us. And I want to just show you this. This is the card deck I'm using. It's Insight Cultivator. This is my friend Tamra. She owns ideafarmcoop.com. So you can get these cards there. She is an amazing workshop facilitator, like crazy creative. She made these cards. They're wacky, weird, but they help you gain insights, because when they don't make logical sense, none of these cards make logical sense. You have to tune into it from a deeper place in order to understand them, to get the message. So I want to pull, I'm just going to say one card for now. The wave is upon us. What does this wave bring to us? One more. Okay, I'm going to cut it. I've been working with a lot of cards lately, and I love it. I've been creating cards and working with cards, and it's just a fun creative process. Ooh, Okay, folk genius. Okay, this one. See, nothing comes to mind right away with this one. So let's start with breaking it down. There's a lot of red. That's passion, that's purpose, that's root chakra, that's root chakra is the place of the physical self. It's the energetic center of our energy system that powers our physical world, our family, our stability, our security in the world. So this to me is getting an upgrade. And the other thing with passion and purpose, that is very much my experience in these expansive downloads that feel very intense. What is so intense about them is they are lighting in my solar plexus. It is lighting, and actually my sacral second and third chakra feel these downloads, and this is the space. These first three chakras here are kind of the physical embodiment, the communal space, the creative space, the physical space, are all the centers of our bellies. So what's happening is when I'm getting these life expansive downloads, they're coming in through the sacral and lighting a fire in my belly. And the interesting thing is that this fire is so specific. These downloads now are so specific. It used to be like, yes, I would love to be in service to all. But yet many of us have been like, what does that mean? What's happening now for me is it's becoming very specific. So much so that it's hard to believe, you know? But it's lighting in my physical world. I'm really passionate. So passion and purpose are being ignited. The other thing is green here is the heart chakra. So from here down is getting a massive upgrade um, with this wave. So the heart expansion, I've been feeling a lot of expansion as this exciting wave comes through for me. Um, it again, if it's not easy to be with, I have to breathe. I have to walk away and kind of disconnect and go watch a show or something to like bring myself back down into the physical space. But it usually has to it starts in the heart. So the heart chakra is getting a huge upgrade. It's just getting cleansed. The heart's getting a big old cleansing right now. Genius. I'm going to go to this one first because I don't folk. Nothing's coming to me with folk. So as you guys, as you all, not you guys, as you all beautiful souls watch this, if something comes up for you for folk, I want you to add it into the chat because this is a collective general reading. So maybe something doesn't clearly come for me, but it will for you. So just make sure you add that in. That said, what genius comes to mind is the creative genius. The creative genius is your muse. It's your intuition. It's your it's your genius. It's your genius. It's who you are. It's your higher self. So your higher self is looking to come into this physical reality. That's why I really get the sense that this wave is bringing in the organization of your intentions into physical manifestation. So, wherever your thoughts and your feelings have been for the last few months, they have been amplified. So, when the connection point comes, I do believe it's going to be here. I say soon, but like then your mind wants to know what does that mean? I don't know. I feel like it's close where a connection point comes. We could call it like the flash point. The flash point is when an intentional idea comes into physical reality. I wrote an article about it in Storehouse Social to bring kind of more of a sciency quantum physics explanation of this of the flash point. So it's in Storehouse Social. But that flashpoint is when your dream comes into physical reality. I believe that's going to be close. And I want to say weeks, within weeks. It feels almost closer than that, but I don't know for sure. And yet I do know. So for those of you who need analytical data, I don't have it. For those of you who just understand the resonance, it feels close that we will see a plot twist in our world, in our individual worlds, and it will be based on where our thoughts and intentions have been for the last few months. So there's a lot going on. I'm going to do one more card, actually. I want to know more about that. Folk. If something comes to me later, if something comes to me later about the folk, I'll write it. I'll do a follow-up in Storehouse Social. But welcome. This next one is welcome to my strength. And why I laugh at this is literally right before I got on here, I texted a friend and I said, there's a pretty big wave coming through. I haven't heard from you. How you doing? And she came back and she's like, you always know. She's like, girl, I'm in it. And I said, I know you're in it and I can feel it. And I just said, let me hold you in my heart for now. Let me hold you until you have strength to hold yourself. And at this time, I feel strengthened. I feel strong. So I can hold people in my heart and hold some energy for them while they work through it. So welcome to my strength is the place that these waves will bring us to. They will strengthen us. This is the cup, a vessel, a holy grail, right? This is what's coming to me, a holy grail with a peace lily coming out. I was just going to say, I didn't know what that was, but I was going to say the holy grail is being in peace no matter where you are. You are strongest and you are strengthened when no matter what is going on, you are at peace with what is. And the peace lily, it symbolizes the exclamation point on that point. So strength is building within you, right? And if you think of a lifter, they don't just get up there and pick up those really big dumbbells, right? They start with small dumbbells. They practice. They keep practicing. So in order for us to build resiliency and strength and emotional and spiritual awareness, we have to keep practicing it. And these waves are the perfect place because they are so intense. But the other thing, when they are so intense, they amplify all of our efforts. So if we effort, and I hate to even put if we try, if we effort, if we, when we get really strengthened in holding the peace, no matter what comes in these waves, we get strengthened. Our energy gets amplified, our effort gets amplified, and the next wave that comes in is going to be amplified. So it just keeps expanding and amplifying our effort. It's really important during these waves to be in peace. Be in peace. So that is amplified. Okay? Taking a deep breath. What I know in this moment is we are all receiving the medicine of this beautiful planetary Earth, this beautiful planetary star that we call the sun, also the beautiful planetary star we call the Great Central Sun, and Sirius. We are being amplified. And in that amplification, what I know to be true for each and every one of us is we are open to receive the amplification of all that is expansive, all that is good. Open the storehouse of good for every single one of us who are riding with great strength, with great courage, with great audacity, with great resilience through this wave. And every moment that we sit in peace, we simply open up and receive the abundance that the storehouse brings. We receive the abundance of clarity of thought, of expansive ideas that open and expand our heart, and expansive energy to organize that into physical manifestation and physical reality. Our consciousness creates our reality. Therefore, as much as we are connected to our spirit and allowing our heart to lead the way and expand our experience, we then can only expect good in our physical realities. I release this intention, for I know it is already done for you, sweet soul. It's already done. I hold it in my heart that it is already done for you, that your plot twist, that your manifestation, that your intentions come into physical reality. And whatever way it comes, you know it's in your highest and best good. Always. I keep this peace for you. I release this, I let it go. Abracadabra, and so it is. We will open the storehouse and receive. Thanks for being here, y'all. I love this work I get to do. I love the ideas of where this work is taking me, and I invite you again, if you're seeing this video somewhere, I invite you to come by Storehouse Social if you're not already here, because we're just nurturing your heart. We're nurturing your intentions. We are holding space for our community, for our soul family to come together, to ride out these waves, to ride out these times in peace. And we are nurturing that peace. Thanks for being here, y'all. Mwah. Take care.